Yo, we back with another one, man. Still talking about this Nolan Wells situation, man. Some ain't making no sense. It ain't adding up. You know what I'm saying? Was he in this pool or was he not in this pool is what we trying to find out. Because if he was in this pool, then that means he made it off that island. And if he did make it off that island, that means he didn't get killed on that island. That means he never stayed back on that island because it was told to us that he came back off that island with his friends. But his friends is telling the federales that, you know what I'm saying, he stayed on the island and they left him on the island. Something ain't right. Let's get into it.
Unless Nolan Wells can be in two places at the same time, this new information just don't make no sense and it cracks this case wide open.
Everything about the Nolan Wells situation makes no sense, but the police just seem adamant to just close this case.
I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, I had said my plea.
And all we know is Nolan is dead.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. With dude, he ain't really say nothing, but he said he did see Nolan and like that was it. But the police probably didn't talk to him because he ain't really had nothing to say. Like when he was on TMZ, bro, he ain't really say nothing, so I don't know.
Saturday, July 4th, Wells travelled by boat with a small group of friends, mostly white, including at least one whose mother is a local judge, from a private dock in Ocean Springs to the area of Horn Island for independence celebrations. Multiple boats and people were on the island. He was last seen around...
Bro, I didn't even know Mississippi had islands. You know what I'm saying? You learn something new every day. I've never heard of this place. I'm like, this is crazy.
3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the northwest end tip of the island, wearing blue swimming trunks, no shirt and sunglasses, and friends said he stayed behind to talk to a young woman and planned to catch another ride back. Conflicting accounts emerge. Friends claimed he chose to stay, so family questioned this, citing a video of an argument where Wells reportedly demanded, "Give me my freaking phone."
And that's also crazy because today we had some other dude come out saying Nolan is his friend, and that wasn't Nolan talking, but that was him talking, saying, "Give me my phone."
His phone ended up with friends who returned without him. Some messages allegedly deleted later. Friend's boat reportedly had mechanical issues and left around 4:30 p.m. A friend contacted the Coast Guard around 11 p.m. about a missing person.
You mentioned earlier there are some contradictions.
Yes.
What gives you confidence or perhaps concern about the investigation so far?
Well, the fact that they continue to tell the family that we don't see any evidence of any foul play, even though you have students who recorded an altercation while they were on the boats of argument where you had Nolan and somebody yelling at one another on the boat. So that's an issue. And then you have the young lady make a statement and she says, well, Nolan and I finished talking and Nolan said he was going back to the boat. And then the boys on the boat said, no, Nolan told them he was going to stay with her. And so they are conflicting. She's saying he went and got on the boat. They saying he didn't get on the boat. So which is it?
And a full-scale search was underway.
Yeah, because no cap, it can't be both. It can't be both. So somebody lying.
Body of 18-year-old black teen Nolan Xavier Wells has been found. His white friends who were with him on the trip have already hired lawyers. Wells vanished July 4 during a 4th of July boat outing to Horn Island, Mississippi, about 10 miles off the Gulf Coast. A park ranger found him in the water near the northwest end on July 6th. His phone was not with him. It was in his father's possession. The island has no cell coverage and is only accessible by private boat. Search teams, including the Cajun Navy, scoured land and sea since his disappearance. Authorities have not said how many people were on the boat or who made the missing person report. But online video suggests a possible altercation before the friends left Wells behind. One friend is the child of a judge, and all of them quickly retained lawyers. Wells was reportedly heading to meet a girl, but instead his friends took another boat and departed without him. Why did his phone return, but he did not? Why the immediate legal protection? The family and activists are furious, comparing this to other cases where black victims' deaths were dismissed as accidents. Officials are awaiting DNA confirmation, though the family says they have identified him. What do you think?
Late July 4th to early July 5th, Wells' mother reported him missing around midnight After he didn't return home, she began posting appeals on social media.
Was there ever a moment that you thought that if something went down, if your son needed these friends, that the loyalty would be questionable because he was the only black person in this circle that he was in this day?
This is the thing. Regardless of the color of anyone's skin, your hope is that the people your children call friends will be there. Like, that is any parent's hope, right?
What do you make of the explanation that it was because of a pump malfunction that they left?
I would not leave anyone else's child on an island. I would not leave anyone else's child stranded. You can give all the excuses you want, but you do not leave someone else's child anywhere.
You started to talk about Nolan, and you said was, and then you corrected yourself and said is.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Still early in grief, right? So we're kind of back and forth. Before we came here, it was our youngest looks just like him. So just calling him Nolan and just still feeling his presence. So he may not physically be here, but he's still here with us. I would not be able to sleep at night. I mean, I can't right now, definitely we can't, but I definitely would not be able to, knowing that I didn't do everything as his mother to ensure that I knew what happened to him. And that's all we're asking for, is we're asking for answers.
In identification, it was confirmed as well as DNA records with an autopsy pending. The family have raised concerns about inconsistencies, the phone, the deleted messages, the Snapchats, and why he stayed without his phone. There was contradicting statements about his plans.
If my son was with a bunch of people and he was the only one that didn't come back alive, nobody would come back alive. All of them would be dead. That's what should happen. And there's a reason why black people don't trust white people. This isn't happening in a vacuum. Nolan Wells was a member of the team, went to the same school, was friends with all of them, except he's the one that ended up dying. He's the one, his actions got questioned because he's black. If it was a bunch of white kids, they wouldn't ask, well, what was he doing? What was he saying? What was his behavior? Those are the kind of questions that are being asked because he's black. But all of them should fucking die. If that kid didn't come back alive, none of them should have.
One of Nolan Wells' friends actually spoke about the alleged argument people are talking.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I feel what dude was saying. I agree with him 1,000%, bro. There's no way you coming back to me and you gonna tell me that my child ain't with y'all and my child left with y'all. I don't even want the phone. I want my child. Y'all need to come back when y'all got my child. We done seen this stuff happen too many times. Be mindful of the company that y'all keep. And like I always say, we not even gonna go back down the Kanika rabbit hole, but you see how many lies and different stories was told in that situation. You see how much stuff went wrong with that situation. You see how so many people had so many different stories in that situation. My whole thing is, I ain't got time to be trying to figure out who's and what's what. Man, I be lost my mind, man. I agree. Shout out to them parents, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they really been keeping calm and keeping their composure, man. And I just don't know how, bro. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even live there no more. I would literally have to move. Because the friends is right there. I can't drive past they. You think I could drive past their house knowing I ain't got my son and they living, eating, breathing, playing Xbox? Oh, come on, man. No, I couldn't do it.
About, so there was some sort of disagreement. And someone said, the more they talk, the more I see Nolan had no real friends.
Javon, have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So, but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in the altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like, the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
In response to this, also someone said, why is he talking to TMZ before he talks to the police? It's not adding up. And this is the power of social media in a good way in 2026, but the police just want to put this to bed and say he obviously drowned, he was left on an island by himself, anything could have happened in that situation. Whereas people are saying, why would you not?
Man, look, bro. Now, there's another thing I don't get. The family said his whole Snapchat, his whole Snap, everything, deleted, gone. All type of stuff out his phone, deleted, gone. So to see these videos of him, it's triggering, bro. It's crazy, bro. I could not do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't. It couldn't be me at all. Cause my whole thing is, everybody that lied, I'm going to look at you like you had something to do with it. Even if you didn't. If you lied, what you lying for? You had something to do with it, bro. It got to be some consequences and some repercussions, man. I mean, because they tried to close the case before they even did the autopsy in Mississippi. You see them police came out and said, hey, ain't no foul play. What you mean ain't no foul play? It ain't no foul play. Well, I'm gonna tell you what else we ain't got. We got Nolan body. We ain't got no explanation. We got crazy stories. The boat at the judge house and that. Come on, man. Y'all doing too much, man. This crazy.
Not have your phone. That makes no sense. You're in a remote island by yourself. You need to get home. And also raising questions about what actually happened and the inconsistencies in what his friends are saying. There has to be a concrete story and an explanation of what actually happened, and none of this makes sense. So social media is doing the digging.
If the police have, I know they say they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No.
No, sir.
Really? Okay. Cops have not talked to you yet.
No, sir.
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, you know, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunheard, it was whenever, you know, the body was discovered and the autopsy people and all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised. Because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking. Right. You know, did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me. Just to gather information. Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like, that, like, this whole case thing, like, whatever, like, this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So, like, it's really hard, like, for, like, people to just, like, keep on saying things when, like, none of it adds up, honestly.
The family questions why Wells, described as someone who understood safety in numbers, would stay alone with his phone on a remote island. What happened in the gap after his last confirmed sighting of 3 p.m? Who saw or spoke to him? His friends left him at 4:30 p.m. What happened in between these timeframes?
He was one black with 3 young white men who happened to end up with his phone, happened to end up with his keys. Then there's just too many questions that they should not be closing the investigation. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm a little different than some of y'all. I was built different. My nose is out here, my eyes are here, my brain is here, which means some things I could smell before I could see and before I can figure out. This does not smell right. So some people are saying, Reverend, are y'all bringing in race? Well, we're not bringing in race, but we're not discounting race either, because we don't know what it is. So to tell us don't rush to judgment saying it was racist is fine. But then I'm telling you, don't rush to judgment saying it was not racism, because we do not know. We do know what these parents are being told, and what the parents have now shared with us does not make sense.
There are so many unanswered questions here. A teenager voluntarily leaving behind a phone while staying on a remote island with no facilities seems implausible to the family. The family even said when he recovered his phone from friends, Snapchat videos and pictures were gone despite the 24-hour retention claims, and other messages appeared deleted. Location history reportedly conflicts to friends' accounts. There's lots to look into.
When we finally got his phone, me and my sister went through the phone. We went in his Snapchat. He had 2 accounts, absolutely nothing. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long videos and pictures stay in Snapchat. And I was just like, that can't be. Like, I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps, like when he goes and he's having fun, like he does videos. Like, there was absolutely nothing, no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious,
Michael,
you know.
We having an independent autopsy done at the behest of his family. Colin Kaepernick helped pay for the independent autopsy. We flew his body up from Mississippi to D.C. because they wanted an autopsy done by a person with no interaction with the Mississippi law enforcement, because there's an issue of trust here that is really important. And the fact that they keep trying to say, well, suggesting it was a drowning, but nobody out there reported him drowning. It's not adding up, Michael Strahan. It is not adding up.
And honestly, we are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. So we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else, and that's it. We just want answers.
To make matters even more confusing, a woman's even come out saying that Nolan Wells was at a pool party the night he disappeared. The rumours keep growing, but investigators are still working to a separate fact from fiction and not investigating this properly. People are even saying at this point the FBI need to be involved to look into everything.
Did y'all see the girl talking about Nolan was at a pool party with her after they left the island? She said, bro, Nono didn't get into a fight at the island. It was our other friend. Nono and Wyatt did get into an altercation right after that, not even 10 minutes later, because Wyatt took his phone and Evan was trying to be hard. Nolan was definitely screaming, give me my fucking phone back, nigga. What the hell wrong with you? So they all calmed down. So that's when we head to Evan's house because he was throwing a pool party. So yes, Nono came to the party, and yes, we was drinking, but Wyatt and Evan and Morgan and Andrew was really high. And I think they was trying to get Lucy and Natalie to try some as well. But yes, they got into it again at the pool party. It didn't end until almost 1 a.m. I know Evan's mom kicked us all out. Once they started fighting, it was Andrew and Evan and Wyatt. And Warren was basically recording and laughing, saying, get him, get him. And all I could hear was Nono screaming, Mom. So yes, I tried helping. Then his mom came out screaming, yelling drunk, making us leave, and was saying she was going to call the cops on us if we didn't leave her house. But they didn't let Nono leave, and Nono was by the basketball goal that was inside the pool. He was leaning over beside it, gasping for air and spitting up blood. But now his mom, no, I just got off the phone with her. Now, all of this is alleged, so we won't know if this is a true story unless his mom comes out and confirms, yes, this girl did call and tell me this story.
It was the attorney Ben Crump, who's been hired by the family of Nolan after the 18-year-old's death, shared the photo appearing to show him based at a pool party in Jackson County on July 5th, a day before he was found dead. Crump stressed he does not know if these are facts or rumors, and the photo has been surfacing across social media.
And this is the supposed picture that they deleted from their socials, and it's showing Nolan at the pool party with them. But if this is the case, that makes a lot of sense as to why Nolan's parents went out to find his body and didn't find anything, and then he somehow washes up shore the next day. So that means that they took Nolan's body back out there to make it seem as if he never left the island. Now we know why these motherfuckers lured up so fast, because they know what the fuck is coming. The police better be confiscating every single last one of these little motherfuckers' phones and going through it and getting all the data that they need to see exactly what the fuck happened to Nolan. Everybody that's involved in Nolan's death needs to be held accountable, especially the fucking parents.
The pool party has raised all different suspicions about when it was, who was there, and what even unfolded.
Wait a minute. Unless Nolan Wells can be in two places at the same time, this new information just don't make no sense, and it cracks this case wide open. This is the place that Nolan Wells allegedly was unalived at, not the island. This is on land. I'm gonna explain. Listen to this whole video because this new information gets crazy. Now, as we know, Nolan Wells missing after kicking it with his friends. Here are some of their names: Jax, Wyatt, Warren, Morgan. We're gonna focus on Wyatt right now.
I don't trust none of them. They all look suspicious. They all look like they got something to hide. They all look, cause this my whole thing, right? If I ain't got nothing to do with it, why am I deleting my social media? If I ain't got nothing to do with it, why am I getting a lawyer? I ain't did nothing. But all y'all who did that got to know something. Cause y'all ain't saying rest in peace to that man. Y'all ain't saying y'all miss y'all friend. Y'all ain't saying none of that. No condolences, no nothing. Y'all ain't checking on his mom. Y'all ain't checking on his dad, his family. None of that. But y'all deleted y'all social medias and got lawyers? Some ain't adding up.
Now, new witnesses are alleging that this is a pool party that was at Evan's house, one of his friends, Nolan's friends, after the 4th of July kick it when they were all on the island. And remember when all the guys were deleting their social media and scrubbing it or whatever? Guess where this picture comes from? Evan's Instagram page. This was posted after the island incident. And another thing that this confirms, if true, is remember that Nolan's dad said they searched the island and they didn't see anybody, and then a day or two later, a body came out of nowhere? This person is also saying this is why. They jumped Nolan, allegedly, according to this person, they jumped Nolan at this party. Wyatt and Nolan have been getting into it the whole day. Allegedly, they were drinking, and they were supposedly, the other guys were on some stuff, and they hit Nolan with a pole or something and jumped him, unalived him. So they saying after that, Nolan's body was stored in the boat, which is why, that would explain why they were cleaning the boat. An eyewitness saw them cleaning the boat at 3 a.m. in the morning at the judge's house, even though the boat owner lived somewhere else. And of course, that would also explain why there was nobody when the dad went, Nolan's dad. But then on that Monday, the body showed up days later, which could have been somebody dropping the body off, and they were trying to make it look like something happened on the island to throw off what happened actually on land. And I don't like it. Allegedly, what if I told you?
Someone says on this as well, Evan does not have a pool. The timestamp says this photo was a week before the 4th of July, so the pool party is not at Evan's pool because he doesn't have a pool. It was on Sunday, June 27th. Also, there's only one person from this photo that was at Horn Island, and the authorities have already received her statement. I hope these made-up scenarios don't interfere with the investigation. With a case like this, there's always suspicion and rumours online, and people want to investigate themselves and get to the bottom of it. The family's main hope is the private autopsy they're doing, so there's no confliction or anyone intervening to hide stuff, and we might find out more details on that, and I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah, man, we on this case, man. We gonna get to the bottom of it eventually, though. But what they doing right now, what they saying right now, it just ain't adding up. Y'all get in that comment section. Let me know what y'all thinking. Check out that playlist. I'm out.